All right, everybody. Last talk of the beta track for the day is going to be by Francesco Napoletano. I leave you in his good hands.
Okay. Okay, everyone. Thanks for joining. I see very PTSD faces before with the Fourier transform in the talk before. I promise I keep it short, I keep it fun. So you can go home, probably because there's a strike going on. Okay, so super quick introduction. Who am I? My name is Francesco Napoletano. Everybody calls me Napo. If you call me Francesco, I won't probably turn, because everybody really calls me Napo. I'm 43 years old. I'm a staff software engineer at Sysdig. We are hiring if you want. So if you can join us, I would be super happy. I founded a newsletter called furemote.it for remote jobs for Italian software engineers. Many of you know already me about this. And previously I worked in some small companies like eBay, Pirelli, and I had a small company too as an owner. So some questions for you folks. How do you do after 2 days? And the presenter, the MC, already spoiled some of my questions, but I would repeat the questions again. How many of you are over 40 years old in this room? 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 10-ish, more or less. How many of you are above 30 and lower 40? Okay. Okay, most of them, many, okay. How many under 20 years old in this room? No, no. No under 20? Okay, cool. So I can use very old jokes. Okay, so why this talk? Because in 2012, I was already 32, and I stumbled upon this article. This article is really creepy if you read it. Where do all the old programmers go? It's mentioning elephants, and not just because I'm fat, because they were talking about graveyards, and I go through a rabbit hole. I started to read articles. I'm a nerd, you know. Us nerds try to gather as much information as we can about stuff, and I went through this rabbit hole of basically ageism. Ageism is a definition of bullying or discrimination towards people of a certain group of age. It means discrimination against the old people, but it also means discrimination against the younger people. It's all about discrimination for age groups. And while doing my researches, I discovered a lot of things. There are very huge companies where people over 40s were called like gray farts, because they were considered as old, and basically they were staying in the company because they cannot fire them. And I read a lot of stuff. I was already 32 and I was thinking, okay, what can I do about this? I'm going to be 40 soon, and I was wondering, what can I do? Should I do something else? Should I think about my career steps? And then I had two options, basically. I could have moved between careers, and all those emojis were something me and my friends analyzed, actually. Well, at some point we said, okay, we can take a master in pizza making and opening a pizzeria. We can do farming, and by farming, not a generic farms. Farming alpacas and snails. Why snails and alpacas? Because the wool from alpacas is really one of the best around, so you can ask good money for it. The same for snail slime. A machine exists that basically shakes your snails in order to make them produce more slime, and you can sell the slime for doing makeup and cosmetics. And then we decided, okay, we are nerds. We don't know anything about farming. Maybe we should just leverage some of the stuff we already know. A friend of mine was, let's say, an hobbyist electrician. Okay, I can go to do electrician. I will not be a plumber, so I will not manage liquids. And I can be an electrician. Another friend of mine said, okay, I have a scuba diving license. Probably I can open a diving center. Those were real analyses we made starting from the discussion from the previous article. And then we said, okay, maybe I can just keep being in this company, being a manager, try to be a manager, but that More of this later. Or I can just keep being the sweet rockstar humble developer I am currently. Okay, I am a lazy programmer. Laziness is one of the 3 virtues of programmers, according to Larry Wall, a little guy that created the Perl programming language. The other 2 virtues are impatience, and a good programmer is impatient because he doesn't want to wait for his software to run. So he wants it to be fast, and he does fast software. And the other virtue is hubris. I hope I pronounced it good. That basically means I am so proud of my code, I don't want people to talk shit on my code, about my code, so I will just keeping it better. So that's why those are the 3 virtues of a programmer. Laziness, of course, is I will automate everything in my life because I'm lazy, and I will take years to automate everything. So actually, I am still a developer, 43 years old. I did nothing, and I left go everything as it is. But I'm not really doing anything. I have some sort of secrets I'm going to share with you. More than secrets are basically hacks. Secret number 1, you should stay healthy. And by being healthy, I mean everything in your body should stay in a good shape, starting from your brain, because our job is strictly related to our brain. Then we can have problem with our eyes, because we spend all of our days at computers. Bones are also problematic, because carpal tunnel is a thing, folks, and we should take a really good care of everything else related. By leveraging brain health, you can do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel good. You can buy a PlayStation, you can buy a cat. I personally got a dog. I joined the gym. I tried coaching. I didn't like coaching because coaching was becoming a bit of a hurdle for me. I discovered a part of myself I didn't want to know. Okay, I should have never said that, but okay. And work-life balance should also become a mantra. You should always consider work-life balance as your first priority in your life. And I'm not meaning that you should work only 8 hours and that's it. I mean, you should balance between the actual work, because you know already our work doesn't stop when you leave the computer. Our work stops when we stop thinking of what we were working on. And the same is for life. You probably have a family, I don't know, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. You should also take care of those parts. But of course, I'm not a doctor. And I know it's not easy to do that. So everyone should follow his path. This is me, 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm not joking, at the gym. As you can see, 6 a.m. in the morning is the best time to go to the gym and show your nerdy t-shirt. Nobody will understand. I had a guy asking me what Jenkins was. I didn't find the answer. Okay, so secret number 2, networking. Networking is really important. You have to go to conferences, but I won't talk about that because we're already here, so you know already how it works. You have to plan in advance for something. You have to buy the ticket, you have to buy transportation, you have to book your hotel, and you have to spend money about it. It's kind of simple. While doing the slides, I discovered a slide exists for love hotels. Sorry, an emoji for love hotels. I didn't use that, but if you search for love hotels emoji, you will find something interesting. Okay, or if you don't want to join conferences, or you don't have time, or you can just do it once a year, you can try and join online communities. There are Twitch communities you can follow. There are Telegram groups. I have a Telegram channel with 3,000 people inside, so you can join also my channel later on this. You can join Reddit, but beware, not the Italian part of Reddit. The Italian part of Reddit is the most toxic community I've ever seen in my life. So join Reddit, but in English. Any Reddit Italian moderator here? No? Okay, I see someone laughing, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so or you can follow people on TikTok. I completely removed the TikTok from my phone because I was spending hours on TikTok, and I decided it was not healthy. Secret number 1. Okay, so the word basically is your network. Do networking. If you're looking for a job, LinkedIn could be a good way, but your network is better, because if you know me and I know you, I will probably, when I have the chance, try to help you if you find a work. If you don't want to join an existing community, you can create one. You can just open your Twitch channel, you can open a YouTube channel, an Instagram account, OnlyFans. It depends on what you want to do in your life. I'm not judging, but you can become a creator, you can have something to say too. Just to make you an example, this is my January calendar. And this is an initiative I take, let's say, a couple of times a year. I basically open my calendar to everyone that wants to talk. This year I did it in January and February, and I had an average of 5 to 6 calls per day. Some of you were already in my calls. Can you raise your hand, folks? You, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. I don't remember your faces, by the way. No, I know who you are, but yeah, this is a way for me to do networking. A lot of folks in this calls asked me why you did it, because I'm not asking money, of course. I'm doing it because I like networking, I have a lot of fun doing this, I have something to share, and I learn a lot from the people I talk to, so it's basically there is earnings, not monetary ones, but earnings either way. Okay, let's move to secret number 3, contributing to open source. We are at open source days, so this is a must. You know already what we are talking about. Please remember, it's not only about code. Open source projects need a lot of stuff that is not code. They need documentation, they need translation, testing. If you like to write tests like I do, you can probably help a project by writing tests. You can write unit tests, you can write end-to-end, whatever. Whatever it improves the coverage of a project is helpful. There is also something like planning that I see many open source projects need, and maybe it's something you can help with. Networking is included, because as soon as you join a project for contribution, you automatically gain a network. Networking, as I say in secret number 2, is super important, and in open source, it multiplies. So don't feel too old to do this, or don't feel too young to do this. There are some projects like Emacs that are probably older than many of you. It's not older than me, unfortunately. But basically you have an idea, and your average open source developer in your mind might look like this, but rest assured, some of them look like this. I met some of them, and this is magic. This image is super fun because I generated it with ChatGPT, and this is a new approach to pairing, using a single keyboard and removing some fingers. So maybe we can try. I will just be the one with all the fingers, sorry. Okay, secret number 4, mentoring. We talked about networking, we talked about what I do for networking, and I discovered that mentoring is really a superpower. Seek out opportunities to mentor inside your company, because of course juniors are joining your company, but you can also do mentoring outside of your company. I don't know if Simone is here, probably is gone. Okay, he's not here, but Simone Torrisi, you probably know him as a community called Tomorrow Devs, and one of the services they offer is mentoring. So if you feel like it, you can join Simone and try to be a mentor. How to be a mentor? It's super easy. You just keep doing what you do. If you are good enough, you will just show up. Demonstrate professionalism, work ethic, your passion. Try to give back as much as you can. And on the opposite side, if you need a mentor because you are learning a new technology or something new you never worked on, ask for mentoring. Don't be shy, do that. Secret number 4, we talked about mentoring, we talked about networking, we're talking about open source, and we have to talk about learning, because if you, in our job, if you stop learning, you're basically dead. Every week there is a new JS framework, Every 10 years there is a new version of PHP. So you should keep learning, and you should automate this thing to be fun. And by making it fun, you can try and work with many open source projects like Arduino, Raspberry Pi, the Flipper Zero. Flipper Zero is something that could make me a criminal, and I won't buy it until I'm sure I won't be. Because it's super fun. I see so many things. The latest I've seen about the Flipper Zero is that you can steal Teslas with that. So that could be super fun to learn. Another way to learn and have fun is to join hackathons and coding challenges. I don't know if there are any Italian coding challenges that are not sponsored from recruiting companies, but believe me, they exist and are super fun. One nice coding challenge I always do is the Advent of Code. How many of you do the Advent of Code? How many of you did finish the Advent of Code? Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. But they are super fun. You can do Advent of Code with a new language you never worked with, and that could be a learning process, and it will be fun. I usually do it in TypeScript because I'm lazy. Okay, courses and certification are a thing. You can make your company pay for them, and that's the best case. Otherwise, there are free certification. Worst case scenario, you can pay for your certification. But you don't have to pay. There are certifications that cost a lot, but there are also certifications that are pretty cheap or for free. General rule, stay hungry and stay foolish. Have fun, be relevant, learn things that make you feel good, because secret number one, we said you have to be healthy also in learning. And the problem is we have limited time and there are infinite opportunities. When I started programming, there were only books to learn programming languages. So I went to the library and I got a book about C, a book about Pascal, because I was using Pascal back in school. I started reading the book. At the very end, I probably knew the language. Right now, today we have a lot. We have podcasts, we have videos, we have Instagram accounts, whatever. Whatever you can think of, you can find your path to learn something new. One thing I strongly suggest you is to look for roadmap.sh that will guide you to stacks or technologies you want to learn, so you can have a sort of guide about the topics you have to learn in order to master, let's say, front-end technologies, for example. One thing that I like a lot is that the fact that right now, today, we have two ways of learning, asynchronous versus synchronous. By asynchronous, I mean it's something I can do while doing something else. And I mean, basically, podcasts. You can listen to a podcast, learn something new, but while you work or while you are commuting, or if you work remotely like me, while you are loading the dishwasher. But it's super easy to try and take some time out of your daily activities to learn asynchronously. As I said before, have fun and try to balance. Grow your skill and explore new stuff. There is this mythological creature called the full stack developer, which I am, or I was, and in 2024 you can no longer be a good full stack developer. The thing is, there is too much. You have to specialize. I decided to specialize in front-end technologies, and already there is too much. So you have to balance. You might know, because you are curious, you might know a bit of everything, but you have to specialize at some point. And luckily enough, there is the internet and the AI that can help us go through the unknowns. Basically, what we have to learn is to know what to look for. Google is part of our job. When I interview people, I tell them, okay, you can Google it if you want. If you don't know what we are doing in this exercise, you can Google stuff. Also, Googling stuff tells me how you work. And that's what I usually do when I interview people. And then there is Then there is this very bad word called Scrum. Any Scrum Master here? You were? And then what happened? Oh, glad of it. Okay, by the way, Try to take the best out of the Scrum methodology in order to improve your learning. Basically, plan what you have to learn, figure out what you want to learn, implement, and basically study, because otherwise it won't work. Review what you learn, figure out if it was useful or not, and if it was not, retrospective. Try to figure out why instead you spend time on something you considered unvaluable for you. Okay. Oh, I had a very good joke about Scrum Masters, but... Okay, so let's move on. Secret number 6. This is something I really see happening a lot in Italy. I know a lot of developers that at some point of their life, they set an expiration date and they said, okay, after, I don't know, 5 years in this role, I have to be a manager. Whatever happens, I will be a manager. This is something that happens mostly in Italy, I don't know, abroad, but the experience I have is that in Italy it works like this. I will get my degree at the university, I will work as a developer, 10 minutes, fuck, okay. I will work as a developer for a while, then I become a manager. That seems natural, but it's not. We started working with computers because basically we hate people, let's tell that. Being a manager is a completely different job. I stumbled upon some sort of management in my career, and it's really hard, man. You can still keep being an individual contributor, which means you still write code, or you can choose the management path, which basically means they will steal your computer from your hands. And you keep being a manager, trying to manage people that have fun with computers. The real secret that nobody tells you is that you can go back. You can be a manager. In my company, I've seen a couple of people doing this. They went to the management way. They said, okay, no, maybe it's not good enough for me, or maybe I don't like it. I can go back. You can go back. You can go back inside your company, or you can just go back by leaving the company and going somewhere else. Okay, secret number 7, the clickbait title. This was something I discovered while I was dressed as a Santa Claus in a Christmas market in Austria. And I said to myself, fuck, I'm 40 years old. Who can stop me? Nobody can stop me. My mom cannot stop me, at least until I'm not at home, of my parents. And basically, you are 40, you can do whatever you want because you're an adult. You're the only one responsible for yourself. You can embrace your weirdness. I try to wear the most weird underwear I can find around. My wife always complains, I won't show you my Batman underwear right now, but be assured that I have Batman underwear. But that's a really small thing. What I'm trying to say is that you should, of course, behave, but if you take responsibilities of your action, whatever it is, the weirdest action you can think of is basically making you unique. And by being unique, you are gonna be not just one of our random software engineers becoming 40, but you can be Francesco, Mario, Lucia, whatever. And this is super important. And as I said, I really discovered it dressed as a Santa Claus in a Christmas market, because I was walking around and had a lot of kids telling me, oh my God, Santa Claus. And I would say, oh fuck, I can do whatever I want. It's super important, okay. If you go to, at the very end of the slides, there are links to watch the slides. You can navigate through it using your keyboard. And there are links for that Embrace Your Weirdness TEDx talk, which is super fun, and I suggest you to watch it. Okay, secret number 8. Let's speed up a bit. We have to celebrate wins and accept failures. Failures are features, they are not bugs, even if bugs are failures most of the times. Things can go wrong, they will go wrong, you will get scars. I have a lot of scars. I put in production dumps of user objects that if there was GDPR back in the days, probably they will arrest me. But the thing is, you will learn something from your failures. And please consider also the smallest win count. You are basically doing good and you don't know, because you are keeping your job, you are contributing maybe to open source projects, you are taking good money for the job you're doing, and you have to learn to keep the imposter syndrome at bay. The imposter syndrome, you know already the definition, I won't expand on this, But let me just state that it's completely normal. There are studies that say 2 out of 3 people basically have this problem. Even I met, during one of my columns, I met a girl that was working at Apple for 3 years, and she was complaining she was not a software engineer. And I basically went crazy because this girl was super smart, super cool. She worked at Apple, and she was complaining that she was not able to be a software engineer. And I have 2 suggestions about imposter syndrome. Focus on your achievements. As I said, you're actually doing good. You don't know, maybe you don't recognize that, but you're doing good. And the most important one, which I discovered while doing some coaching, is that you have to live the present. Your present is your job, your family, whatever, your dog, your PlayStation, whatever. The past is gone. You cannot do much about that. Something happened bad, it's gone. You cannot do much. The future, you don't know what's going on in the future. You can just say, oh my God, they're gonna fire me. Oh my God, the company gonna shut down. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my job. That's something that it's hypothetical. You cannot do much. And if it happens, you can just maybe reflect on that when it happens. And when it will be happen, it will be in the present. So stay in the present. Secret number 9, stay relevant. The more I'm getting older, the more I discovered that our job is not about, it's about writing code, but not that much. Maybe most of the times we just solve problems. We have people coming to us saying, okay, I have a bug, I have a problem. Okay, help me implement this. It's a problem, because it's not implemented, you have to implement it. So our job is about solving problems, more than writing code. I see younger people I work with start writing code too early. You have to reflect. We are, let's say, older, wiser, maybe. It's really about solving problems. You have to experiment. You have to think about what you're doing. My experiment is that this is my first talk at a big conference, so I'm doing pretty good, actually, as I said. Or you can move closer to software engineering, but in different positions. I didn't know Apple had an emoji for project managers, but you can try that path too. And one thing I did close to software engineering is that I created fullremote.it, which is kind of successful with 5,000 subscribers. Or you can specialize. By specialized, maybe you can make a good money by maintaining PHP 5 code. Okay, last but not least, get along with younger co-workers. You were a younger co-worker too, basically. Be approachable. You instantly become younger. I discovered Misketa, thanks to Sanya. Hello, Sanya, if you're watching from remote. No, I really knew about Misketa, but I never listened carefully to her songs. I wish I never did it. But because all the songs I have on my Spotify playlists have something like remastered, written close to them. That's really a problem. Okay, as I said, it's magical. You discover new stuff. Younger people work, live differently. They really live in a different planet compared to my planet. They don't watch movies, they watch TV shows. They don't listen to music, they listen trap. They dress differently, they do a lot of stuff differently than us, but the most shocked moment I had in my life is when I was talking about Indiana Jones to a colleague of mine, and she was a girl, she told me, okay, who the hell is Indiana Jones? And I said, fuck. So, sorry, I probably used all the fucks available for open source days. And basically, they are really so different, but I have a lot of fun working with them. I have a lot of fun teaching them. I have a lot of fun learning from them. So, thank you, folks. If you have any question.
All right, everybody, any questions? One over there.
bit more, I mean, your talk is incredibly fun, but it's also very open-ended. That's why the question is more on a personal note. If you were to pick out a couple of things that you would do differently, what would those be?
I live in the present. I don't look at the past. No, I'm joking. No, what I would have done differently, I would probably finish my university degree. That could have been something to be done. I would have probably not follow my passion back in the days. When I was working in eBay, I basically worked on everything you can think of in the web and mobile stack. I did Android, I did iOS, I did the web, I did whatever, because I was curious. And probably being more specialized could have helped me a bit more in my career. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, okay. Somebody learned something from my talk. That's the past is gone, and that's really the thing. Okay. I could have done something different, but that's okay because right now I'm here talking to you guys. I work in a very nice company, and I'm still having a lot of fun. Okay.
All right, everybody. Another big round of applause. This is for you.